This is a bicycle pulley I bought off eBay. It was £12. It's normally used for hanging bikes in the ceiling, but it can take up to 25 kilos, and I thought it'd be perfect because it has all the pulleys and the ropes and everything to lift the table saw and hang it from the ceiling. That way I'll have more space in the garage. The pulley itself can take 25 kilos in weight, but I've weighed the table saw and it only weighs 20, so I thought it'd be perfect. As you can see, I'm placing the hooks and pulleys on opposite corners, so it's more stable when I lift it. I'm also measuring how far away the hooks are, and then I'm going to place the pulleys the same width apart on a piece of wood, again to make everything just more easier to pull up and everything more in line. I'm drilling the screws in. I think I used 6 on each side in total, just to make sure it's secure. What you have to do is, with the string, you have to put a big knot in the end, and to make sure it doesn't pull out. What I also did was I lined it up with one of the screw holes so I can screw it into the board for double security and safety. I think the hardest part of this was actually putting the rope, or the string, through all the pulleys in the right order. It took quite a while, and the rope was too long, and to be honest too thin as well. I think the next thing I'm going to do is probably put a thicker rope on so it's easy to pull up. I was just feeding it there through a little catch mechanism. It's sort of like a handbrake. Every time you pull it up, it squashes down on the rope to make sure it doesn't fall back down again. It doesn't always work, but it's better than nothing. As you can see, the rope gets quite tangled up and becomes a bit complicated. I've hanged it from the rafters, and I've screwed it into the rafters as well to make sure it was very secure. Now they say you have to attach this hook mechanism, don't know what you call it, but they say you should attach it to a piece of wood or to a brick wall, masonry wall, and I didn't have anything close at hand, so what I ended up doing was grinding all the paint off of my metal shelves that are welded in and are absolutely solid, grinding the paint off this latch or hook or whatever you call it, and just welding it on. As you can see from the welds later on in the video, I overdid it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Now it would be easier to weld it with this MIG welder, but at the moment it's in pieces because of the feed board, motor control feed board is broken at the moment, so I need to find a new one of those. Also ground away some of the paint for the earthing clamp for the welder. I end up using my stick welder instead. But as you can see, I overdid it as well. Better to be safe than sorry. I ended up putting a welding mask over the camera, just to see if you could see the actual welds as I was welding them. Couldn't really see as such. It was a bit difficult for me as well sometimes because I had to hold the mask over the camera as well as weld with the other hand. As you can see, it's glowing red hot. Yeah, I overwhelmed it. I got a lot of penetration, which was good. I had a high heat paint used for manifolds and exhausts and stuff, but I ended up using the cheaper silver hammerite paint that's behind it. I was only using it just to cool it down for one, and two, to give it a protective layer just to help it prevent it from rusting. Bit of overspray there, but don't really care. Just got the WD-40 out, just thought I'd spray the whole table saw while I was there, make sure everything was loose. And this is the first test of pulling it up, see if it will lift. And yeah, it lifts from one side first, but then it evens itself out a second later. So it's always level. The problem I was having is the string was extremely thin. They need to give you a bigger rope, basically. They need to give you a thicker rope. Because it was literally just sliding through my hands. It was easy to pull up, but it was actually the string itself was just sliding through my fingers the whole time. So either I'm going to put some knots along the string I've got on there already, or I might just get a thicker piece of rope and feed that through and use that in future. As you can see, it's quite solid up there. It's out the way, it's high above. It's a good foot above my head, so I can walk directly underneath it. Yeah, it's just out the way, it's perfect. I can, you know, it just takes up less room in the garage. It's solid, see, solid. Though I wouldn't sit under it for a long period of time, but yeah, it is quite solid. Overall, it was a good idea and it was cheap enough to do. But I think in future, what I'd probably use next time, or if I want to improve this one, is either use a electric winch of some sort. I've got this one off a job. This is for lifting people in care in and out of baths. It's motor controlled. Can take a lot of weight. I've also got these pulleys here that I actually got off a weightlifting machine. And they're very strong, very durable pulleys, because they were specifically designed for lifting weights under tension. Also have this, I don't know what's called, a block and tackle winch or pulley, I don't know, but anyway, it can lift a ton anyway. So I could use that in future if I wanted to, but I'd probably look at getting an electric winch next time. But overall, good little project. Make space in the garage. Cheap to do and relatively safe as well.